Hi Gemini, welcome to your Q1 tarot reading with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. I just want to say a massive thank you so much. Let's get straight into what this first quarter of 2025 has in store for you. So with that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to give all three of these decks a shuffle now so that we're ready and we can just hit the ground running, as it says. And I just want to say happy damn new year to you. I truly hope 2025 is treating you well so far. So 1, 2, alright, those are ready, and the Human Design Oracle deck, 3, alright, so your first cards out, your first triplet, you've got the Knight of Swords, very Gemini energy, the Empress, and the Ace of Wands. So for this first quarter, it looks like a big focus for you is moving beyond, not only moving beyond a stagnancy, but I think for a lot of you, this is about enhancing the aesthetic of your life. Now, this could be in your business, in your work, absolutely. It could also be for a lot of you, this might be that you're choosing to go through some kind of glow up, that you're really focused on enhancing your your look, right, your image, etc. Another way that this could also show up is a lot of you might be very focused over this next 3 months on really moving yourself into a place and a space that gives you a lot more space for creativity, for more joy, etc. And some of you might even be looking to move or relocate to what would be considered like a rural location. I wonder with this as well, if a lot of you over the next 3 months are dedicating a lot more time to spending time in places that feel, what's the word? Almost like more sort of aligned to you, if that makes sense. What I mean by this is, you know, not necessarily just more aligned, but more, what's the word? Like for me personally, whenever I'm out in nature, like I go walking every single day, whenever I'm out in nature, I get a lot of inspiration from that. Like it really helps with my stress levels and my thinking and my creativity. That really helps me. And it looks like a lot of you over the course of this next 3 months, you're going to be really focused on finding places and spaces that allow you to cultivate your own creativity. It will also be that a lot of you are spending a lot more time thinking about your outlook, as I say, right? Like and not just your outlook, what's the word that I'm trying to think of? It's like not just the aesthetic, but like, and not just a glow up, but it's like your material self. That's the only way that I can say it at the moment. That's what's coming to my brain. So your January, right? I know these are slightly late. They'll be out, in time for the next quarter, but it is what it is, right? So for January, you've got the Strength card. This is really about you finding the courage to go after what it is that you know you want. And also for a lot of you, this is about getting out of a habit of procrastination. This is you really finding the depth, the wisdom and the courage to just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go for this and I'm going to make it work for me. The other thing with the Strength card, this is you delving into your heart of hearts. And in relation to all of this, it's really asking you to think about what is, certainly January is going to be a month where you start to understand for yourself, not for anybody else, what is performative and what is actually, what am I actually showing up for or with or in. Finally, because it is the Strength card, there'll be a big focus on the body this month, like your physical self, your image, etc. All of that kind of stuff seems to be a big focus for you at this time. As we come into February, you have the Judgment card. So February is going to be a big pivot point for you. There'll be a lot of change going on at this moment in time. And with the Judgment card, remember this is a call to action, right? So February, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a very busy month. I mean, you know, January is always busy because it's January, but I wouldn't be surprised if February is a really big month because you're changing the dynamics of your life. This could be your business, your work, it could be your outlook, maybe you're changing homes or regimes. What I can tell you about the Judgment card is some big or larger cycle in your life has come to a close, and you're really very focused at this time on literally shutting something down and having the courage to walk away from or close down an old cycle, maybe one that's repeated for, you know, some time. The other thing with your Judgment card as well, remember that call to action, it very often comes from life itself. And so you might find that February presents you with like a unique challenge of some sort where you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, you know, I have to kind of do this now. What's really interesting as well is obviously I've been doing these for, you know, for all of the signs. Everyone's got their eye on March because it is, you know, March is a huge month. It's so packed astrologically, but it's like we're sleeping on February, and there seems to be something showing up for all of the signs in February that's having them go, oh, okay, so there's this now. Not necessarily a bad thing. And then finally, the last thing that I want to add with Judgment, this will be where yeah, like in some way, shape or form, this is where you kind of get to say to yourself, okay, you know what? I think I'm ready now. It's like you make a final decision on something and you're able to move forward in a bigger way. And then finally, you have the Hierophant card for March. This makes sense in a way because this is about you establishing or potentially re-establishing yourself in some regard. Now, remember, we've got double retrogrades taking place in the month of March. And for you, you've got the Hierophant card. March is going to be a month that demands, not asks for, right? And this is hard for you, Gemini, because you're quite a free spirit. You like to move, right? You are, as I understand it, the epitome of air, right? Movable, changeable, curious, etc. And this isn't to say that you have to completely change your nature. What I am saying is if you want to be able to ride March out without getting frazzled, you're going to have to really get organized. You're going to have to cross your T's, you're going to have to dot your I's, and also you're going to have to look at the systems that you have in place and their viability, right? Like, is this working? Does it work? Is it providing, you know, is it doing what it says on the tin? Finally, this could also be where you are interacting with, working with, or alongside a bigger or larger institution. And I will say, if you're approaching any financial institution, the money that you need or require is available to you. For your months ahead, for your life sectors, for your actions and options, you've got the Five of Swords. So there are likely to be a few disputes on the horizon over this next quarter. It might be that, you know, it makes sense, especially with that Knight of Swords. I did try to sort of soften the blow with that in the way that I explained it. But now that I see this Five of Swords, especially in your actions, there are going to be some hurdles for you to overcome. And it's quite possible that there might be some hard conversations that need to be had, and potentially some hard truths that will need to be heard by you. And potentially, you know, the thing is with Gemini, it's a sign that's not like Gemini doesn't care about delivering a hard truth, because it's kind of like, you know, it all has a purpose as far as Gemini is concerned, and nothing is sacred, right? However, there might be some hard truths that are shared with you at this time about yourself or your outlook that see you kind of say, right, okay, I need to address that for myself. However, you're also going to be delivering your fair share of them as well. And there may be a few people that kind of kick back against it because you call them out in a way that they can't really deny. That's on them, right? For your love and relations, you've got the Page of Swords. Okay, sorry, for your communications and conversations, you've got the Page of Swords. This combination, I do want you to be very mindful about your approach to things in the online or the digital sphere. This could be the kind of thing where maybe you make a throwaway comment or you reply to a comment or something along those lines, and it just gets blown completely out of proportion. All right, so I want you to be extra careful around this, especially, you know, as you're communicating online. Now, for those of you that are studying, it's possible that, you know, there might be a dispute between you and your learning institution, or potentially with a professor, etc. Because it's the Page of Swords, it's also possible that there could be some kind of formal conversation that takes place or needs to, and it might be for a really, what seems like a really trivial reason, but there's something else brewing behind it. So just keep that in mind. If you're employed by somebody else, it could be that you're taking an interview over the course of this 3 months. Honestly though, I think you would probably be better just to hunker down over this next 3 months, do what you need to do, and then as we get into April and beyond, then if you're interested in finding new work, maybe look after that. Now, for those of you that are, you know, especially if you're looking to change locations, if you're those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is a lot of brain power. There's something that you're crafting here, and it kind of feels like you as a business owner are saying, no, I'm going this way, and that's all there is to it, right? And it might be that maybe you haven't done enough market research, maybe you haven't compiled enough information, or possibly maybe that you're just not really considering what the implications of whatever your move is going to be. Either which way, don't panic, don't fret. I don't see you breaking anything, but I do see you potentially needing to readjust. And obviously, as we come into March, there will be a Mercury retrograde. So it kind of tracks with everything that's showing up. If you are retired and no longer working, this will be a familial argument or a family, tiff of some sort that arises that you may be sucked into, whether you want to or not. For your love and relations, if you are single and looking to mingle, you could be making new friends at this time, and within that friendship circle, somebody could introduce you to someone who ends up being quite special to you. There's a lot of chance over the next 3 months for fun, connection, romance, dating, all the rest of it. Like lots of fun, lots of pleasure, lots of enjoyment. I'm not necessarily seeing anything that I would consider concrete in that realm at this moment in time. So just keep that as a consideration. When it comes to those of you that are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, this is whole new friendships and friendship ties and circles for you to connect with. So this could be absolutely fantastic. And then finally, for your money and materials, you've got the 10 of Wands. Now, when it comes to this makes sense. So I don't think it's so much about the work, these disputes that are showing up. It's actually likely to be around a financial matter. How you see something, whether this is how you see the pay structure, whether it's the money that your partner spends on, personal endeavors versus the home and the family, whether it's, you're going into business with a friend or a sibling, you and this person or you and the others see money and finances in very different ways, and this is going to be something that needs to be rectified if you're going to move forward. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your lower back and spine, so look out for that, especially around the hips, etc. If you know you're prone to stuff with that, start working on your root and your sacral chakra areas now so that it doesn't become a problem later. And then when it comes to your home and environment, I also want to mention as well, if you haven't got yours yet, you can get a personal tarot video recorded by yours truly and sent directly to you. It's kind of like, imagine your own YouTube video, but like literally personal to you. You get to ask 3 questions, 3 specific questions, and all of that good stuff. There's other stuff as well. So finally, for your home and environment, this next quarter, we'll probably see a lot of you moving, changing location, looking to change location, hammering out the details of a move. All of that kind of stuff is likely to be possible for you at this moment. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have an amazing Q1, and I will see you soon. Take care, and let me know in the comments how it shapes up.